Harking back to a golden age of seafaring, tall ships are things of sheer beauty and tranquility, and climbing the rigging, pulling on the ropes, watching the canvas blow in the wind, and if you're very unlucky, possibly walking the plank, is all part of the experience. And this week on Planet Cruise Weekly, we're taking a look at this alternative approach to cruising. Well, hello, thanks for watching. Welcome to episode 75 of Planet Cruise Weekly. This is Glenn, I'm Keith, two sea dogs. Yeah, I'm glad you said sea dogs. I was thinking of something else there.
Yeah.
But two gents who love cruising and of course have worked in the industry now for many, many years. And every week we share with you different factors, different ideas.
I'll waffle about cruising.
Yeah, we'll waffle about cruising basically, yeah. And apparently people watch, so we keep on doing it.
Yeah.
We keep on doing it. And this week we're going to talk about tall ships.
Are we?
We are, those tall ships, yeah, which is going to be quite interesting, I think. And when people think about tall ships, they often assume, I suppose, there's going to be a certain amount of work involved, or maybe the home comforts that they're used to aren't going to be there. The reason we're doing this today is to kind of say that's a little bit of an urban myth. That's not really the case anymore. You can have the luxury and the grandeur and the comfort and a kind of private yacht cruise experience with the glamour and historical feel of those wonderful tall ships of yesteryear.
Now, tall ships like the ones found with Star Clippers offer you the chance to relive the bygone age of sailing, but with all the comforts of home. Sailing yachts like those found with Windstar, Ponant and Club Med offer a more modern twist on things, but still with the grandeur of the sailings above your head.
Now, tall ships do tend to be much smaller than the cruise ships that we're used to. In fact, the largest that we're talking about today only carries 400 passengers, and the smallest just 67, which pretty much would be most lifeboats on big cruise ships these days, wouldn't it? And what's really interesting about this is that the more exclusive number of fellow travellers also tends to give you a better crew to guest ratio, and of course this translates into a much more personalised service when you're on board.
So now we're going to talk you through some of the main players in the tall ship cruising. And first up we have Star Clippers. Founded in 1991 by Swedish entrepreneur Michael Kraft, Star Clippers operates the three largest full-rig sailing ships in the industry today. In fact, their flagship, the Royal Clipper, is the biggest ever, outsizing even the famous flagship of the Flying P line, the Personalised.
Now, there's nothing quite like sailing under a starry or sunny sky powered by the bluster of ocean winds alone. And if you do want to float along with the wind while exploring the less travelled ports in the Caribbean and the Mediterranean, Star Clippers is pretty much tough to beat. You know, the fleet has three vessels. You've got the flagship, which is 227 passengers, the Royal Clipper. Then you have the 170 passenger twins, Star Clipper and Star Flyer. And these are some of the fastest clipper ships ever built. And you can literally feel the sails catch in the breeze, and you can help with the raising of the sails, the trimming. It's really, really good fun. You can even climb up high in the rigging if you don't mind the height.
So, three ships in the fleet currently, and breaking news, a fourth currently under construction as we speak, and due for completion in early 2018, which will be named the Flying Clipper. The Flying Clipper will have 5 decks and offer enough accommodation for 150 crew and 300 passengers. Options for accommodation will include luxury cabins, balcony suites and owner suites.
Now, there will also be a host of public areas to enjoy, including 3 swimming pools, a spa, a library, a function room, dining rooms and 4 different bars on board, one of which is an alfresco tropical themed bar, which sounds right up our street.
Yes.
One of the most interesting pieces of news to surface recently about the Flying Clipper is that she's going to be built to ice class requirements, so she could well be in for some proper expedition sailing as well, though I wouldn't want to run out of wind around the North Pole.
You never want to run out of wind around the North Pole. As for the other ships in the fleet, well, the Star Flyer and Star Clipper are sister ships and are carbon copies of each other. Both ships hold up to 170 passengers and come with sizable cabins fitted out with all the mod cons you need while you're on your trip.
While you're on board, you can take advantage of the 2 swimming pools, or if you just want to chill out, then you can grab a glass of wine or a cocktail from a tropical bar, or relax in the piano bar. And if you do get peckish, then you can head along to the Clipper dining room, and it's worth noting there that Star Clippers have abolished all rigid dining schedules, which is really, really encouraging. And in fact, they've also got rid of rules on how you should dress. So no need to worry about packing for a formal night. And Glenn, time to get that mankini out, pressed, ironed and ready to wear.
Look all right with the bow tie. The other ship in the fleet is, as we said earlier, the largest full-rigged sailing ship in the world, the Royal Clipper. The tallest of its 5 masts stands some 197 feet high, and with 42 sails with a combined area of 56,000 square feet is quite the sight to behold. In fact, those sails could cover over 3/4 of an average football pitch.
Now, the ship itself holds 106 crew and up to 227 passengers and has ample deck space, giving you a spacious and expansive outdoor environment, which actually includes 3 swimming pools. Now, all the 3 pools are accessed by the sun deck, and if you travel down the deck, you've also got access to the tropical bar, observation bar, and of course the ship's library.
One of the real standout features of the ship is the 3-tier atrium. At the top you can sit and have a chill out at the piano bar. 1 deck down you'll find the gallery, and then at the very bottom you'll be within the Clipper dining room.
Now, the cabin selection's good. It ranges from interiors all the way through to deluxe balcony suites, but do be careful as some of the interiors do come in a bunk bed style configuration, which might not work for everybody.
Obviously these ships don't have the multiple lounges and gimmick entertainment options of the big mainstream lines, and the focus is firmly on destination, the sailing experience itself, and the plethora of water toys and planned activities you can get involved with at various ports of call. For example, how about going snorkeling with stingrays, or going river tubing adventure, or one of the submarine tours?
So where do they sail? Well, the answer to that is pretty much everywhere, with the exception of maybe the Baltic and the fjords at the moment. But of course, with the introduction of the new ship, that could well change as well. And one of the greatest offerings they do is the Grand Voyage. And with this, you can choose anything from 10 to 24 nights on board.
Now these sailings are one-off, rarely repeated trips that offer an extended sailing experience that could take you through the Mediterranean or Caribbean, stopping at the often smaller, less visited ports of call. And if you like any more information on Star Clippers, just then click the link here as you go through to our website. Glamorous assistant again.
Now, next we're going to talk about the upscale line Windstar, who sail to over 150 ports throughout Europe, the Caribbean, Central America, and the South Pacific. And yes, okay, you could argue that they're not true tall ships, as the sails are not their primary form of power, but they do deliver a similarly pleasing aesthetic in the style of cruise and in the appearance. And in our opinion, they're deserving of a mention in this tall ship special with Planet Cruise Weekly.
Glad you cleared that up. So we'll start with the 2 smaller ships, the Windstar and Windspirit, and both of these ships hold a maximum of 148 guests. They have wide open teak decks festooned with hidden nooks, perfect for that feeling of being on your own private veranda.
Now, staterooms on board are very luxurious. You've got Egyptian cotton linen, granite countertops, ample storage, and Loctane bath products, as well as all the usual features you'd come to expect. And there are a total of 74 staterooms on board, 73 of which are called Deluxe Ocean View, and the other one being the Deluxe Owner's Suite, which comes with its own living area.
Nice. Both ships offer 2 main dining venues, the first being Amphora, which is a gourmet course-by-course dining experience in the evenings. Then we have the Veranda, that is more of a casual buffet and full-service dining venue for breakfast and lunch. However, if you fancy dining under the stars, then you should really check out Candles. And as for other facilities, there's of course the pool and hot tub on board, but also a spa, water sports platform, lounge, and even a small casino.
Now, the largest ship of their fleet is the Wind Surf. It's twice the size of its smaller siblings and holds up to 310 guests across 31 ocean view suites. And Wind Surf has 2 bridge suites and 123 deluxe ocean view staterooms. Now, you'll find the same venues as the other 2 ships here, plus you also have access to new venues such as the Stella Bistro, and in the evening you could find yourself in the terrace bar watching the sunset while sipping your favourite cocktail.
As with the rest of the fleet, there is a water sports platform at the rear of the ship which allows easy access to have a number of water toys. During your stay you have unlimited use of these toys as well as unlimited use of the fitness centre.
Now, Windstar covers the Mediterranean, the Caribbean and Northern Europe, but not currently any Asian, Canadian or Alaskan options. But again, that may well change in the future. If you'd like any more information on Windstar Cruises, then click the link up here and go through to our website where somebody like Glenn, full of knowledge, will be there to help.
Next up we have Club Med, and this is an easy one because they only have 1 ship, the Club Med 2, and it splits its time between the Mediterranean and the Caribbean. Again, this is more of a sailing yacht and it's more engine powered than it is wind powered, but it's still as elegant as the other ones we've already talked about.
Now, more famous for their on-land resorts than their cruising, Club Med's Club Med 2 offers another unique cruising experience. The ship itself is a 5-mast sailing yacht with 200 very experienced staff and 186 staterooms, which range from club through to suite. None of the staterooms on board feature balconies though, so essentially what you gain from going up cabin grades is extra space, unless you go for the suite, where you get champagne, a turn-down service and an espresso machine.
What's key?
No, just to use throughout the duration of the cruise.
Cruising on Club Med 2 is an all-inclusive experience, and while on board you have the choice of 2 restaurants and 4 different bars. The 2 main restaurants, the Mediterranean and the Magellan, both serve up regionally inspired dishes on an open seating policy. The Mediterranean offers an al fresco option perfect for sitting and eating breakfast in some truly outstanding scenery.
Now, the main thing Club Med is famous for, of course, is activities, and these are certainly bountiful. There are absolutely loads to choose from. You can have a go at anything from snorkeling, sailing, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, plus many, many more. And if you're new to some of the sports, there's also a sports school for they do windsurfing and water skiing and wakeboarding, and there's even on-demand training for scuba diving and also golf. So if you can't yet do it, you'll be able to do it by the time you finish your cruise.
On the subject of golf, Club Med do a lot of themed cruises as well, and one of the most popular of which is the golf cruise. So you could be cruising the Caribbean and indulge in a few rounds of golf, but for those golf widows or widowers out there, don't worry, there's still plenty to do either ashore or on board while they're out playing golf. Now, if you'd like more information on Club Med cruises, just click here for the link above and it'll go straight through to our website.
Last but by no means least, we're going to take a quick look at Ponant and their sole sailing yacht, which is interestingly named Le Ponant. Now, much like Club Med and Windstar, this yacht is more engine powered than it is wind powered, but it does offer a much more open to the elements feel about it. And Le Ponant has a large sun deck and outdoor restaurant, but also a similar water sports platform area to some of the others.
The main thing to note about Le Ponant is her size. She is considerably smaller than all the others we have mentioned and only carries 67 passengers. So if you're looking for something a lot more intimate, then this could be the choice for you. Cabin choices are also limited. You have a choice between Antigua and Marie Galante, and the only difference between the cabins is that you can fit 2 people in Antigua and 3 in Marie Galante.
Considering her size, you wouldn't expect huge numbers of options when it comes to dining and relaxing, but you do actually get 2 restaurants and 2 lounges to relax in. Lunch is often served buffet style on the terrace, while dinner is a more refined, elaborate affair that takes place in what's called the Carakia restaurant. The food on board all pays homage to the great French gastronomic traditions and is accompanied by a selection of red, white and rosé wines.
Again, you tend to find Le Ponant mostly around the Mediterranean, but there is Caribbean offerings as well, including their own golf-themed cruises. Now, if you'd like more information about the intimate Le Ponant, then just click the link here. This will take you through to the website.
Well, hopefully that's given you a little bit more information about tall ships and about the kind of different experience that it is, because it maybe not for everybody. Some people do like the big ship,
And they're not cheap.
but no, they're not as cheap and massively affordable. They are a bit, but then you get what you pay for. There is that wonderful sense of history. There is that great feeling of being under the power of the sails, and again, you don't have, particularly if you go with Star Clippers, you're not having that rumble of the engine all the time, particularly when you're leaving and
You're having the flapping of the sails.
flapping the sails, which is nice. People like that. And you can climb the rigging. So get in touch. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you've been actually on a tall ship. Maybe you sailed with Star Clippers, maybe you sailed with Windstar or Ponant. Do get in touch. If people do want to get in touch, Glenn, how do they do that?
They can do it a number of ways. They can contact us at hello@planetcruise.co.uk. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter. Of course, also go onto our YouTube channel. It's free to subscribe, and you can check out all the other episodes of Planet Cruise Weekly. And then, of course, go to planetcruise.co.uk. That's our website with all the information about the cruises, the links, and all places to visit.
A big thank you to everyone who has got in touch over the past week via social media. Thank you for all your comments and your feedback. We can only mention 2 right now. The first one is Kay, who said, "Wow, thanks Planet Cruise. I'm so chuffed." Is that an English term? Yes, it pretty much is, I think, chuffed.
We'll take chuffed.
I think it's only in England we have chuffed, actually, I'm not sure. It means happy, basically. Thank you for including my question in the video. This cruise in October is actually my partner's and I's first cruise with MSC, and we're flying from Australia to join the Meraviglia in Messina, Sicily. So thank you again. Absolutely considering a drinks package for the cruise. 2 months to go and counting.
Don't consider it, book it. It's worth it.
Good advice, Kate. And hey, have a safe flight over from Australia. It's going a long way over to Sicily. It's going to be an incredible experience.
Yeah.
And let us know what you think about Meraviglia, particularly that wonderful ceiling, that new kind of virtual reality video ceiling that they've got as you kind of walk through. Looks absolutely incredible, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, also, we want to say thank you to Brenda Lunan, and she was commenting on the Cruising Alaska piece that we did.
Nice.
Basically saying that she did it as in Cruised Alaska 3 years ago, and it was absolutely brilliant.
That is good.
So thanks for getting in touch. If you do want to get in touch, please do. We need your feedbacks, we need your comments in order to sculpt the future of the show, and of course to make sure that we keep it relevant to you. Thanks for watching. For myself and Glenn, we'll see you soon.